If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever cocooned in oblivion until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface beneath me, a strange tang of sulphur in the air. Do not be afraid. This is where the angels come in. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision as the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's the stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. Sometimes I wish they would give the direction notes before the actual dialogue so I knew how to speak it out. Oops. No. No? Who the hell is this? I'm gonna be a little bitch. I'm gonna sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurch. Ah, a stubborn impatient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light flecks off his pristine medical coat. That's a med coat? Guys, we're being shafted here in Ireland. Can we put guys in this? I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Ooh. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. Hands! I thought one of your arms was missing. Did I just misread that or misunderstand? Hello, nurse. 100%. You know, just don't have their emergency medical files on their chest. Honestly, it seems like such a missed opportunity for expert, accessorizing. I wonder what's in there. Do you think it could just be like, a vial of poison in case one of their patients gets on their nerves and maybe, one of them's a good one? I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for this inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make any sense of my surroundings. NHS unfortunately stands for not hecking schmetzy. Oh, that is a crime, honestly. I think we should send a letter of complaint to the NHS. Which everyone should be doing anyway. Nurses and doctors are extremely underpaid and overworked. But yeah, definitely I think on the top list of their priorities is going to be get sexier lab coats. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever he is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere, with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. enjoying the filth. It hasn't even gone filthy yet. It's just gotten a bit gore sexual, if anything, which I suppose, you know, a little bit of autoerotic asphyxiation, but that's beside the point. I suppose that, yes. Oh my god. Alright, let's see. Back to sexy doctor times. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. But you notice you didn't dress me in them. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. That's really nice artwork to write, I'm just gonna say that. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. It's blood. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he then sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look up at him. I am loving his look. His accessories kind of remind me of Yu-Gi-Oh, not gonna lie. I'm loving that bling on him. I guess you always need to. But yeah, I'm really liking how this guy looks. This character design is phenomenal. I'm adoring this artwork. Oh, I need to reply to him. Yes, prepare my next look up at him. I either say thank you or step out. He did just save my life, and he hasn't told me about any bills yet, so I'm gonna say thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Very true. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get rest. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. I was wondering. And yet my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, grasping out my last breaths. It's time to oh! I'm sorry. What Carissa just sent me. It's time to drool. He wanted you. Oh my god, yes. Excuse me, there is a part of me that is far more efficient than my hands that you might be interested in, Doctor. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them out. I wonder what aesthetic he assumes I would have gone for. That's the real question. How close can you tell my personality when I'm unconscious and dying? Do you guys think you would be able to guess someone's personality if you found them, like, bleeding out? They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them, but there's one thing still missing. I thought I was going to say my pants. My bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, catching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Ooh. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. If he did mean me any harm, I would already be dead. By saving my life, he has caused me the opposite of harm. I don't see any reason to be suspicious of him at this moment in time. There is always a potential for him to be an asshole. Looking for protection. 100%. It's like, sorry, have you got some contraceptives here? You are a doctor's office. We gotta be safe. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move towards me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and moldy skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I clenched my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. If the curse makes you crazy, if you touch this main character's hands, and he stitched up her hands, then he must have also touched her hands at some point. So, is he immune to the bad touch? Or did he have an assistant or something going on? He must know more than he's letting on. Anyway, before he asked about my hands, so yeah, okay. Decline to answer, glare him. So all of these are just do not respond. I do hate it when visual novels do this. As state lines, yeah, as we need additional bandages. I don't want to be rude. I'll just say nothing. There's no answer I could give without raising unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. You went to med school is already crazy. 100%, yeah. I had a tutor who went to med school and he said something very similar. You have to learn to just shut off one side of your emotions. So maybe doctors are immune to it because they've already been through hell. Maybe he did wear gloves like a good doctor. Look at him. I can only help you if you tell me what ails you. That's another thing. Always tell your doctors what's wrong. Even if, like, what you're doing, if you're worried that they'll judge you for it, no. They've seen everything. Be honest with them. They'll help you quicker. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Where would he believe me if I told him? No. Best to keep my curse to myself now and learn more about him first. I could just tell him I got ravaged by a monster in the bog in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure he guessed that from my arms missing. Who are you? You may call me Curus. Oh, like here. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia, so I made it to the city of knowledge after all. I should feel relief, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? Maybe he's a monster. Maybe he transforms into the monster. I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child who's explaining basic addition to me. I hope he doesn't end up being one of these 1,000-year-old guys. I frown and flex fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, nudge nudge winkling, it feels fine. Thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on. Pardon? A soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Cenobian mage. I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. If you have medicine advanced enough and technology advanced enough, I would argue that is bordering on magic. I have always said the only difference between magic and science is your understanding of it. Like, because I think that's how it works in like most fantasy books. So let's see. He is a tentacle monster who attacks you, makes victims, is clearly questionable by clinic running. Yes, that'd make a lot of sense. It's just like in Pokemon when they say we hope to see you again soon. It's like, what are you playing at? It's just capitalism, late-stage capitalism. I don't understand medicine, therefore he is a magician. That's what I'm saying, Windowin. 100%. If I don't understand it, it's magic. That's how my brain works it. Even if somehow could heal me by magic, I should detect traces of it. But I sense nothing out of the ordinary at all. The doctor cures... Is it curious or curus? Can you guys say in the comments what you think it is? Curious or curus? Pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is a city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I wasn't given a choice. I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I was just... You are new to Iridia, and so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? That's like Kira. He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I am also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steady breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. LadyNightLight. My name is LadyNightLight. It is a pleasure to meet you, Nightlight. There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thanks for saving me, or why did you save me? I've already said thank you. I'm gonna ask why. Why would he risk himself for a stranger? If there's anything I've learned, it's that everybody wants something. With the world in such peril, no one reaches out a hand without expecting something in return. Can I ask, why did you save my life? You don't know me. The question seemed to startle Pyrrhus. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Pyrrhus might have asked for such well-made clothes. You never know, maybe they could be off the bodies of people who didn't survive his treatments. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating and patient. I blink. What did he just say? That's not good if you come from a history where people just wanted to experiment on you. Ah, I simply meant that if you would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, LadyNightLight. This way to spill. Yeah. Oh god, yeah, that's the true bad ending of this game. They send you the bill for the medical care. His voice dips into a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wriggled my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. Yes! See? This is where it's going. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. Oh. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? Well, if your hands are black with glowing runes, the first thing I'm gonna think isn't gonna be cursed. You know, if it sounds like a zebra and looks like a zebra, it's probably a zebra. So I would have assumed they were just really funky tattoos. Just speaking from experience. Man's calling me broke. I'm good. Well, I can't exactly say he's lying. So I got nothing to fight him on, I'm afraid. You can tell I'm a broke ass bitch. A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent, and Curious lets out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Oh, they died. Do you need anything before you leave, LadyNightLight? Oh. Between the soulless attacks and my miraculous survival, I had almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the Cenobium. The Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The Cenobium's gates are open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? It feels like this is definitely going to be about game future fight. Pom Pom 100%. I'm already like kind of something for this guy. As soon as it's released, I'm gonna be first in line to buy it. Not gonna lie, it's got cool monsters, cool design, cool artwork, and really pretty characters. I also one thing I haven't mentioned yet about this game that I really enjoy, how much of a focus there are on the senses, so what you smell, what you feel, what you taste, what you touch. I'm liking that it is a very sensory game instead of just being dialogue heavy, which sounds quite, counterintuitive for a visual novel, but I do find having the tactile element in a visual novel really helps to ground you in the world and story, and I am very thankful the developers made sure to put emphasis on that. No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the Cenobium, where to suggest? Do you know anyone else here in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I suggest the local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander. Excuse me? The Wet what? The Wet Wick? He sounds deeply unamused. Oh, sorry, I got to pee now. You don't like dirty jokes. Follow the posting advertisements. Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Curious points towards the clinic's back door. You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pulled the new cloak up over my nose, stepping out into the contents of a chamber pot that had been emptied into the streets. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that was scraped together for the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. Also, not to be a Debbie Downer, but if he found you dying in a bog, surrounded by countless other dead people, he would have just had to steal the coins from the dead people to probably cover the treatment. So even though he looks like a saint now because he didn't take your coins or anything, he probably made more than enough just pillaging the bodies of all the dead guys that you were traveling with. You never honest. Staring on my touch. Hello, Queen of Rodents. It's so great to see you. Welcome to the stream. We're fawning over hot anime men. Isn't it? Oh, I'm loving this style so much. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Harris didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Iridia, secrets are power. Did he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Ferris gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeezed out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Ferris's clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding of decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city. I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings looked tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in a narrow street. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. Hunt the child, take his donut. The morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh, not too many eyeballs today. That sounds disgusting, but I am starving. So I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. The eyes? Would that just be like a grape? What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at a metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough. Ah, pizza dough balls! Hell yeah! Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Date the fish. Yeah, fish story. Let's go, fish fruit. We need a zombie dating sim. We do. Oh, if I ever make a dating sim done, I'll put in a zombie just for you. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of colour. Painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in the open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the sultan musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. This is where we find pride. Polishing off my food and dusting little crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word "Bloodhounds" printed above his head. A motto, "As above, so below," circles the artwork. I'm guessing it's Wolfman? I'm guessing it's the guy with the dog ears and the wolf ears, and the motto "As above, so below" makes me curious about items. Totally, normal, chivalrous, totally not terrible thoughts. Okay, continuing. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on precariously dangling wooden signs. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wig." A facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside.